Welcome back to another edition of the GameTimeCT Staff Pick'ems Podcast. I'm your host, Pete Paguaga, and as always, I'm joined by the Sean Patrick Bowley. Sean, welcome back to another episode.
Oh, I don't know if I'm after last week. Oh my goodness. Am I ready for this? Is it too late to bow out? I don't know. I don't know if I'm.
No,
ready.
you have to be in. No one loves yelling at you more than the fans who don't pick them.
I think I'm gonna go undefeated and just right off the bat 4 losses. The saving grace, I guess, is that everybody else stunk too. So I guess
that is true. 4 losses means you're in first place. So with all the postponements and the games moving around this week because of the weather, we only had 9 finished games on the board from last week. Rocky Granby-Canton is going to get moved to a later date, so we can't count that game yet. I'm going to add that game when it is finally finished. So right now we're at 9 games. And like Sean said, if you got 4 losses, you're in a good spot. And there's 6 of us. Bossman Sean Barker, Sean Bowley, Bossman Dan Brecklin, Scott Erickson, myself, and the 8-Ball.
8-Ball!
Went 5-4 to claim a tied spot at the top of the standings after week 1. Mike Fornabayo, Chris McNamee, Joe Morelli, and Dave Stewart went 4-5. Carl Adamick went 3-6, and Will Aldham and Meyer Lee are bringing it up at the end at 2-7. It was a tough week. I mean, there were games that we picked with confidence that went the other way. 2 people, actually 1 person, and the 8-Ball picked Hamden.
The 8-Ball not only picked Hampton, the 8-Ball picked
West Haven
and Shelton.
Yes.
Was big SEC fan.
But the West Haven game, everybody picked Staples except for Chris and the 8-Ball. And the 8-Ball got the Darien forfeit win as well. So a couple of things went right for the 8-Ball, picking against everybody. It was a great week for the 8-Ball. Everyone loves the 8-Ball. Now, this is where it gets a little bit more tricky. Last week was tricky. 500s in first place. It was the Alliance week. In non-Alliance weeks, if you are new to the show, we pick 1 game from each conference and then 2 quote-unquote at-large games to fill out the 10. So we got some inter-conference matchups here that are kind of going to be a little bit difficult to pick. And I'm excited to see how we do, Sean. I mean, you've seen the picks board. Not to tip any picks, but it doesn't look easy, right?
Yeah. Now we're into the dregs. Look at this. It's a tough week, man. I can't wait for next. Can we get the next week already? Jeez.
Well, next week's going to be tough, too, because of all the Alliance games.
Yeah, but, this is... All right, take it away, Pete. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. Let's go.
All right. We're going to start in the CCC. We got Avon going to Manchester to play the East Catholic Eagles. Sean, I'm going to let you go first in this one. Who do you like here?
The battle of teams that didn't send their previews back to us, their previous surveys back to us. So I couldn't tell you one thing about either team. Sorry, guys. I'm just going to have to go on faith here. I'm going to go... man, I was just about to make a really bold pick, but I'm going to go East Catholic. I think... I don't know. I'm picking East Catholic, Pete.
Okay, you're going with East Catholic. I'm going to go the other way just because no preview forms in. Still learning about these teams. So I'm going to go with Avon. Just going to kind of shake it up here a little bit. East Catholic did lose to Griswold Wheeler 60-12 last week. And Avon's game against Ram got postponed. So not 100% sure what is going on over there.
Taking a leap of faith here.
I am, yes. I think we both are. All right, the next game we got we got Prince Tech Innovation going to ATI. ATI, both teams are 0-1. ATI lost to Brookfield at the SWC. Prince Tech lost to Cheney Tech. ATI is a consistent playoff presence. One of the better teams in the CTC over the last decade. They're going up against Prince Tech Innovation. Rob Rubin back leading that program. Sean, I'll do you a favor. I'll go first on this one because I think.
I thought we're supposed to. Yeah. Come on.
Yeah, we are. So I'm going to go first on this one. I'm going with Chris Pace and ATI United. I think they get back into the win column. I think most of their games I'm going to pick them to win. So I'm going with ATI in this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the ATI too. Just because they have, I believe at least. I don't think we got a preview back from Rob. So I'm going to have to go with ATI here because I know more about them than anything else. And that's still pretty iffy. They won their opener. No, they lost to Brookfield. So, that's Brookfield. This is not Prince Tech. Yeah, I don't care what. It's not Brookfield. So I'm going to go with ATI here. They're just a more veteran team. Well, I think in our preview, I have 7 starters on both sides of the ball back. So I'll take the vets here. B.
All right, going to the third game. We're going to the ECC. We got 1-0 Fitch traveling to play 1-0 New London. Now Fitch won their opener against Thames River 26-7, and New London won its opener against Stratford 25-2. Great win for Coach Bobby Sanchez. He's a friend of the program. Exciting things are coming out of New London from a lot of different places. People really like what they're doing. I don't want to tip my pick here, but I wrote the Fitch preview. And I can tell you a lot about those Falcons up at Fitch, and they are going to have a good season. Not the tip pick. Sean, you get to go first here.
Well, yeah, they have 15 stars on both sides of the ball. Fitch, they're a team that I like to start the year. Someone asked me who I had in the ECC, and I think I picked Fitch. New London, though, it's been a while since we've seen him, and Bobby's all fired up after their win. They came all the way here to Stratford. But, again, I think right now, they're also a better team. This is going to be a showdown, man. This is going to be a showdown, but I'm going to go with the Falcon just because I just think they don't have the new coach, and it's going to be, where is this anyway? It's going to be at New London at Kennedy Field. That's a tough call. But I'm going to go with Fitch here. I think just the veteran team. That's really it. That's all I got for you.
All right. I'm going to go with Fitch as well. Ben Perry, senior quarterback, threw a couple of TDs in their opener against Thames River. Big fan of Mike Ellis. Fitch has won 6 games, at least 6 games every year since 2017, which was the last year they made the state playoffs. They haven't made the playoffs since.
Yeah.
Right. But I like Fitch.
2 years ago.
Yeah, but I like Fitch. I think they're going to have a good season, so I'm going to stick with the Falcons. All right, going to the FCAC. The FCAC schedule this week, not great. But this one is intriguing for a handful of reasons. So we got 1-0 Brian McMahon coming off a 27-12 win against Amity. And, I was talking to a couple of people. Brian McMahon always has so much talent. They have athletes. They're a good team. It's been a while since they've been a winner. And a big part of that is winning games. As simple as that is to say, but I feel like people who know sports understand you need to learn how to win, right? And I think McMahon, I looked at that Amity game, and I'm like, if McMahon wins this game, I think they're going to be in for a good season. If they lose to Amity, then I'm going to get a little worried. But man, did they play well. They beat Amity, and now they're going the road to play Darien. Now, Darien hasn't played a game yet this season. North Haven forfeited the game against Darien, so Darien is technically 1-0. On the field, they haven't played a game yet. So it's going to be really interesting. Is this going to help or hurt Darien? Now, rewind a little bit. McMahon hasn't beaten Darien since 2006. So, now Darien has won a lot of state titles during that time. But I'm wondering, we like Darien. We are getting on board. We're drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit, you more than me. But they didn't play last week. Is that rust? Or are they going to come out too antsy? How, Sean, Did I? Yeah, no, I go first on this one. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place here. But that rust kind of, I don't know really where to go with this. I do like Darien. I like McMahon a lot, but I'm going to go with history here, and I'm going to pick Darien. But I think this is going to be a sneaky, really good game.
Heat. McMahon's not beating Darien. I'm going with Blue Wave.
Huh?
There's my analysis. They have the two backs, Daniels, Angione, right? Mm-hmm. I think they're going to be a good team, better than they've been. They're not beating Darien.
We're going to go to the NVL. We got two of the better teams in the league facing off week 2. 1-0. Holy Cross is going to Naugatuck to play the 1-0 Greyhounds. We were at Holy Cross's 6-point overtime win against Woodland. Deshaun Graves went off. Freshman, 3 touchdown catches. Drew Collette played awesome. Marcus Campbell did a lot of things that didn't show up in the box score, but we're waiting to see him go off. Put up the numbers that we know he can put up. And then over Naugatuck beat Wolcott 49-0. Jet Hall's debut at quarterback. He threw a couple of TDs for the Greyhounds. Obviously, he can run. But this one, I have it circled. This is where I might go on Friday night. I might go see Holy Cross 2 weeks in a row because I really like this game. But, Sean, you go first on this one. Who you got?
I'm going to go with the Greyhounds here. A little birdie told me that they're supposed to be pretty good. Now, that little birdie might be biased. And maybe completely trying to misdirect on me, but I'm going to go with Chris Anderson and the Greyhounds. I like Holy Cross, but there's certainly some things I got to work on there. Campbell's good, and obviously the freshman. Well, you got to get that run game going, man. They gotta get a little bit better with that. The defense I thought pretty well. I'm gonna go with Noggy though. I just hear good things, and that's kind of like hopefully this birdie did not steer me wrong, but who knows?
Well, great. We were at the Naugatuck Holy Cross game last year. And it came down to a field goal that was blocked by Holy Cross's Rowan Maldonado, who is not there. Not there. But a lot of guys aren't there from either of those teams. Caden Martin, Diedelbaum. But I'm going to go with Naugatuck, too. I've been on the Jet Hall bandwagon since last year. Big fan of his. Obviously, he got hurt last year, so we didn't really get to see him. Got a great end to his sophomore year, so I'm expecting big things from Jet Hall. I'm very excited about this game, so I'm going to go with the Greyhounds as well. All right, moving on to the Pequot, and if you haven't noticed, conferences in alphabetical order for future episodes. But we got the Pequot. We got North Branford, who is 0-0. Their game, I don't think they had a game last week anyway. I think they were always on a bye. So they were one of the teams that didn't play last week but didn't get affected by the weather. So they're 0-0, and they're going up against Ellington, whose game against Stafford got pushed and does not have a new date yet. So both these teams are 0-0. We know a lot about North Branford, right? The Tommy Hansen at running back, DePino on the line, Anthony Salvati, his first game coaching at North Branford. They're taking the trip up to Ellington. Ellington's been a really good program the last couple of years. Cooper, last name with a K that I can't not pronounce correctly, so I'm going to not try to do it and get it wrong. But Ellington's got dudes. I'm going to go first in this one, though. I'm going with North Branford. I really, really, really like the Thunderbirds this year a lot. I think Anthony Salvati is a great coach and did a really good job at Guilford. But I like the two guys, Hansen and DePino, over at North Branford. I think it gives them the edge. So I'm going with the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, Pete, I'm going to go with the T-Birds, too. Tommy Hansen, DePino. Well, DePino's great. All-state lineman. I think the last name you're looking for is Kohinke.
I think Kohinke. Yeah.
Cooper Kohinke is their top guy there for new coach Dylan. So two new coaches going out of here, a little mano-a-mano in the first game at Ellington. It's one of they were supposed to play their last week's game at home. But they get their second game, and they got Granby after this, home as well. But I like the T-Birds here. I'm just riding their bandwagon. I just feel like they're the best team in the Pequot right now. So at least the best in the Saucus division. Still waiting on North Branford a little bit. Valley clearly down. But I'm very interested to see how North Branford does with the new coach. I'm going to go with the T-Birds until proven otherwise.
All right, now we're going to go to the SCC. You get the pick first, so you can talk about Shelton. They're 1-0, coming off a heavyweight battle with New Canaan, and they get Cheshire, who's also 1-0, who went down to Ridgefield, beat up on the Tigers. Matt Jeffrey did Matt Jeffrey things. He's one of the best players in the state, but Jeffrey Gonzalez is a really good running back for the Rams. Unfortunately, sometimes the forgotten Jeffrey. But Gonzalez is a baller. He could play really well. This one's it's another heavyweight match for Shelton. Sean, I'll let you talk about the Gales.
Oh, man, this is a real tough one. You have two top players. I mean, obviously, Kanye Tinney coming up at the top of the list. He really had a breakthrough year last year and helped those guys out. I mean, they only go 6-4, right, Shelton? Jeez. But right, I think so, yeah. Yep. But then Jeffrey's just a Player of the Year candidate. And who do I got? Who's got the better group around them? It's a really tough call. I mean, both these guys will probably win the game on their own. They're going to be matched up against each other. You're going to whoever one guy goes, you're going to see the other guy shut out, and they're going to try and find ways to knock the other guy out in their game planning, so they can find the other guy, get the other guys out in space. I have a hard time with this. Really hard time. I just think right now, Gales, the complete team right now, I think they have just a little bit more pieces. I'm going to go with Shelton. This is obviously a murderer's row schedule they have. Jeffrey's going to be tough. It's going to be a barn burner. Get your tickets now if you haven't already. Get out there. Should be great at the McClary complex. Could go either way, but I'm going to go with the Gales.
All right. I, too, am going with Shelton. You talked about the guys around them. And you talk about the guys around Tinney, the guys around Jeffrey, and I'm going to go with Shelton's guys right now. I'm going to go with Kinnick. I'm going to go with the rest of that crew. Yeah, I'm not going to try and pronounce his name.
Wood's great linebacker. You got some dudes up front.
So I'm going to go with Shelton on this one. I just think right now, better overall guys, but guys could step up for Cheshire, and they could easily win this game. So that one's definitely a coin flip for me. All right, we're going down.
Is this a Pete special on Thursday night? Is this your...
It might be. It might be a Pete special on Thursday. I haven't been to the McClary complex in a couple of years. I got to go see my boy Don.
Well, I saw Shelton last week. I'd love to see him again. So if you don't want it, I'll take it. But because it's right up the road for me.
I think I might. I think I might have to. I think I might have to get out of my FCX bubble. Going to the SWC, we got Bunnell at New Fairfield. Bunnell beat Daniel Hand. A sentence I don't think any of us would ever thought that we would have to speak. Not have to speak, but any sentence that we ever thought we would speak. Obviously, Hand is trying to build itself back up. Bunnell has been getting better every year under Ty Jenkins, and that's a huge win for the Bulldogs. Great win for them. That's a win that could really get the kids invested and as they go through the season. They get New Fairfield. I mean, a lot of teams got postponed. A lot of teams got in buses and traveled. But New Fairfield went up to Wyndham twice. 7.5 hours on a bus. And let me tell you, I haven't been in high school in a long time, but I can imagine those buses have not gotten more comfortable. And it was definitely a school bus. I mean, maybe they had a coach bus. That'd be really cool. But 7.5 hours on a bus, get me out of here. I would have rather walked at that point. So they haven't played a game yet either. In this one, I'm pumped for Bunnell. The win over Hand is awesome, and Ty has been working to get to wins like that. Right? They've gone 6-4. They've gone 5-5 with losses against teams that have made the playoffs, and they needed to get that big win. And yeah, Hand might be down. This might not be, a great Hand team, but it's still Daniel Hand, and that goes a long way in trying to motivate your guys. So I'm going with Bunnell on this one. Who do you got, Sean?
I'm going with Bunnell, too. You want to look at their schedule. Take a look at Bunnell's schedule, okay? They start out at the Surf Club and won, which, you forget. I didn't even notice that until right now. At the Surf Club and won. So, first of all, Hand, okay. I picked Hand to win a state championship in M, and they very well may still do that. All you got to do is get in. Just get in, Hand, so you'll be fine. But for as far as Bunnell goes, big win. That was a signature win for them. Name team. Remember, Hand. Bunnell would play Hand in the first round, and they'd be Hand would wipe the floor with them. Remember those games? They were no contests in the first round of the playoffs when Hand was like, peak Hand. Eric will get those guys back, but that's a big win for Ty. He needed that. And the next game after this, they got at New Fairfield. That's a tough drive, even in the SWC. Then they get Berlin at home, and then at Massac. So this is a crucial step. That big Hand game that was a big one. And now can they beat New Fairfield? I'm gonna go with the Bulldogs as well. They had a really good game last time out. New Fairfield had no game experience. Bunnell's kind of feeling it. I'm going with the Bulldogs. Just don't get too cocky, Bulldogs. Don't go up there thinking you're gonna blow the doors off the place. Like New Fairfield's got some guys too. They may not have McCormick back, but I still think they're pretty good. But I'm gonna go with Bunnell. I'm gonna see Ty and the guys ride this wave. Look out. If they win this game, look out. Here they come.
Yeah. All right, we got two more games, our at-large games. So we got one crossover action. We got Killingly at Notre Dame West Haven. Killingly lost to Massac last week pretty convincingly. And Massac is a really good team. We've talked about them at length. But Killingly's coming down here. It's nice when these teams come down here. It gives us an opportunity to see them. I hate the years where it's like you don't really see Killingly until the state semifinals. So it's nice that they'll be down here. They got Notre Dame West Haven. This is not last year's Notre Dame West Haven team. They lost to New Milford, I think 15-0.
Zip.
Not a great start for the Green Knights, but a lot of young kids, a lot of new starters. They're only going to get better. But Killingly, they got 4 offensive linemen back, and they got Soren Reef, who I think rushed for 98 yards against Massac.
Yeah, didn't do bad.
Yeah, he didn't do terrible. But Sean, who do you got in this one? Is Killingly take the long bus ride home as winners?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Killingly in this one. Like you said, Soren Reef, again, that was tough because now they don't have the polished pass game. They don't have Jags. They don't have dry bolts. They were really polished last year. This year, green. So they're going to have to rely on the offensive line and Soren Reef to go in. They stack the box, man. Look out. That's going to be trouble. Notre Dame, I think they're going to try and do that. Going to try and stop the run, but Killingly, it's going to be old school RPO, run people over for Chad Neal's guys against SEC battle. It's one of those games. It's a year late and players of the year short, right?
Yeah. Honestly, it really is. But it's like our colleague Carl Adamick wrote with his Soren Reef feature, Reef to the right, Reef to the left, and Reef up the middle. And I think he's going to wear Notre Dame down. I think Soren Reef is in for a big night at Veterans Stadium. So I'm going to go with Killingly as well. Now, the final game is another FCAC matchup. 2 teams coming off losses to SEC opponents. We got Ridgefield at 0-1. They lost to Cheshire. They're going on the road to Staples, who lost to West Haven on Friday. Both talented teams. Kyle Cosley, one of the best athletes in the state, stud lacrosse player, really good wide receiver. And then you go over to Staples where they have Caleb Smith. I saw Staples last week. Caleb Smith, guys need to start catching these balls. He is putting them in really good spots. He can't do it by himself. You can't have one player win you games in the FCAC. And Caleb's going to need those guys to step up. Ridgefield, I think, ran into a really good Cheshire team. And so it's a bounce-back game for both of these teams. I'm going to go with Staples. I think, Adam Barron's does such a good job. He's such a great offensive mind that I think I bet we're recording this on Monday night. I bet he has rewatched that West Haven game like 7 times, trying to figure out what went wrong on offense and how they're going to be able to fix it. They have to fix the defense too. 3 touchdowns allowed, over 70 yards. But I think we're gonna see a much cleaner, crisper Staples team on Friday night. So I'm going with the Wreckers.
Pete, I love the fact that Kyle Colsey plays football. I know his brother didn't play his senior year, but Kyle, he's playing. He's out there, and I love it. And you should have seen their old man play at Syracuse. Oof, when I was a freshman, he was a senior up there. And man, what a great athlete was. He was an All-American at Syracuse, just a great player. And it's good to see that these kids are just, his brother Ryan before him they're great. He's going to go to Virginia for lacrosse. He's just a talent at Ridgefield. That said, I think Staples just too many more weapons, I suppose. Maybe not. I mean, the quarterback, obviously, we talk about him. They have some other guys, but I was stunned that Ridgefield really kind of got taken straight out of that game. And I know now Staples doesn't maybe have a Jeffrey type, Smith, yes, but I was a little surprised that they didn't, give it a little bit more of a battle there. Who knows? I could be completely proven wrong. Staples, that Ridgefield could come straight down there and could pull their doors off for all I know. But I'm going to go with the Wreckers. I thought they put up a fight, a little bit more of a fight against West State, which had athletes too. Maybe they just had way too many athletes as far as West State is concerned. I'm going to go with the Wreckers.
All right. Well, that's it. Picks will be up. Steph picks will be up. This is going live Thursday morning, so please like, rate, and subscribe.
Oh, yeah.
And go listen to the Meat Grinder.
Like button. Smash that subscribe button.
If you listen to this first, go over, listen to the Meat Grinder as well. We're going to be pumping out all this great video content all season. So for the picks, I'm your host, Pete Paguaga. For Sean Patrick Bowley, continue to yell at us on the field when you see us.